Chosen one, this is not a coincidence. This is not random. This is not by accident. You were brought to this exact moment in time, to this exact message, because I ordained it. You were summoned to this moment. Heaven pulled you here because there is a truth that needs to settle in your spirit tonight, a truth that will change how you see everything that has happened and everything that is coming. Your moment of surrender echoed through eternity, and because of that, heaven is aligning the answers you have longed for right now. That moment, chosen one, when you finally stopped running, when you finally stopped trying to fix it all yourself, when you laid down your plans and your pain and your questions at my feet, that moment did not stay in the natural. It echoed. It traveled through the heavens. It reached the throne room where I sit. It was heard by the cloud of witnesses. It was noted by the angelic hosts. And it set in motion a response that is now manifesting as alignment in your life. Heaven is aligning the answers you have longed for right now because you surrendered them. This is the prophetic reality I am declaring over you. It is not a possibility. It is not a maybe. It is happening. The surrender you offered in the secret place has eternal weight. It has eternal consequence. And the consequence is that the things you have been waiting for are being brought into divine order and released to you in this season. Let me establish the timing first. As it is written in Ecclesiastes 3 verse 1, to everything there is a season, and a time to every purpose under the heaven. There is a season for every activity under heaven. A time to be born and a time to die. A time to plant and a time to uproot. A time to kill and a time to heal. A time to tear down and a time to build. You have been in the uprooting and the tearing down season for what feels like too long. The planting and the building seem delayed. But I tell you, chosen one, the season is shifting. The time for healing has come. The time for building has come. The purpose I placed in you before the foundation of the world is no longer in waiting. It is activating. The appointed time has arrived, just as Habakkuk 2 verse 3 promised, for the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak, and not lie, though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come, it will not tarry. The tarrying is ending. The speaking is beginning. The vision is manifesting because your surrender made room for it. Your moment of surrender was the key that unlocked the next phase. It was not a one-time event that you have to keep striving to repeat. It was a foundational decision that continues to bear fruit. Every time you choose to stay surrendered, the alignment deepens. But that initial moment, the one where you crossed the line from striving to yielding, that is the one that echoed through eternity. That is the one heaven responded to with action on your behalf. Chosen one, I know you have questions about why it took so long. But those questions are being answered now by the alignment itself. You will not have to wonder much longer. The evidence will speak for itself. But for now, receive the word that the delay was not denial. It was development. And the surrender was the graduation from the development season into the manifestation season. Now let me reframe the pain you have endured. Because the pain has been real, and it has been deep. The loneliness that wrapped around you like a heavy cloak in the evenings when everyone else seemed to have someone to turn to. The rejection that came like a slap from people you had poured into, people you had trusted with your heart. The delay that made every morning feel like another day of the same unanswered prayer. The being misunderstood that made you feel like you were speaking a different language, even when you were speaking truth. You carried it quietly. You smiled in public. You showed up. But inside, it hurt. It made you question if you were on the right path. It made you wonder if I was still with you. But chosen one, what looked like loneliness was actually consecration. I was setting you apart because the assignment ahead requires a purity and a focus that only comes from time alone with me. What looked like rejection was redirection. I was removing people and situations that would have become weights or distractions or even traps in the next season. What looked like delay was divine orchestration. I was aligning every detail behind the scenes so that when the answers come, they come complete, not partial. What looked like being misunderstood was actually protection for your anointing. Not everyone can handle the depth of what I have placed in you. Not everyone is meant to walk with you into the fullness of your calling. The misunderstanding was my way of filtering the crowd so that the right ones remain. You didn't cause the pain. You didn't deserve the pain. But you did use the pain. You used it to press closer to me. You used it to refine your faith. You used it to learn how to war in the spirit instead of in the flesh. And that is why the surrender was so powerful. It was not a surrender from a place of defeat. It was a surrender from a place of having fought the good fight and choosing to trust the commander more than the battle. I want to tell you about a night in my own life that mirrors what you have been through. It was a Friday night, the end of a long week of disappointments. The rain was falling steadily outside, creating a rhythm on the roof that matched the rhythm of my discouraged thoughts. I was in the living room, the television off, the only sound the rain and my own breathing. My Bible was on the coffee table, but I hadn't opened it yet. I had spent the day receiving another no, another door closed on something I had believed was from me. Friends had offered empty encouragement that felt like salt in the wound. Family had questioned if I was really hearing from God or just chasing dreams. I sat on the couch and I felt the weight of it all. I asked God in the quiet, why does it have to be this way? Why the constant uphill battle? I have surrendered before, but the answers still seem so far. Have I missed something? Is there sin in my life blocking this? The doubt was real that night. The tears came quietly at first, then with more force. I remember the feeling of the couch fabric under my hands as I gripped it, trying to hold on to something tangible while everything spiritual felt shaky. But then I did what I had done before. I got on my knees right there on the living room floor. I laid my head down and I said, I don't understand, but I trust you. I surrender the outcome. I surrender the timeline. I surrender my need to know why. Take it all. It was not a dramatic shout. It was a broken whisper. But it was real. And that night, something in the atmosphere changed. I didn't see angels or hear a voice, but the peace that came was different. It was not the peace of immediate answers. It was the peace of knowing the surrender had been received. In the weeks after, the closed doors stayed closed, but new insights came. New strength came. And eventually, when the answers did begin to align, I could see how that particular surrender had been the one that broke the back of the delay. It had echoed. It had released the grace for the next level. Chosen one, your surrender did the same. It broke something in the spirit that was holding back your answers. It released something that is now bringing those answers into alignment. The pain was the context for the surrender, but the surrender was the key that turned the lock. Now the door is opening. The answers are coming through. This is not to say the pain is over. There may still be moments of discomfort as the alignment happens. But the nature of the discomfort is changing. It is no longer the pain of delay. It is the pain of stretching into new territory. It is the discomfort of increase. And you are equipped for it because of what you have already walked through. As it is written in James 1 verses 2-4, My brethren, count it all joy when ye fall into divers temptations, knowing this, that the trying of your faith worketh patience. But let patience have her perfect work, that ye may be perfect and entire, wanting nothing. The trying of your faith produced patience. The patience is now having its perfect work. You are becoming perfect and entire, wanting nothing. The answers are coming to fill every area where there was lack. Because you surrendered, you are ready to receive them without them becoming idols or sources of pride. You will steward them well because the pain and the surrender prepared you. The alignment is not just about the big things. It is about the small things too. The daily peace that replaces the anxiety. The wisdom for conversations that used to confuse you. The strength to set boundaries where you used to overextend. The joy that bubbles up even when circumstances are still settling. These are all part of the answers being aligned. Heaven is not just fixing the big picture, it is restoring the details of your life to reflect my glory. Chosen one, you have been faithful in the small things during the hard season. You kept showing up. You kept believing even when belief was hard. You kept surrendering even when surrender felt like giving up. That faithfulness has not gone unnoticed. It has been recorded. And it is being rewarded with alignment. The small things are shifting too. The morning routine that used to feel heavy is becoming lighter. The work that used to drain you is being infused with purpose. The family interactions that used to trigger old wounds are being healed layer by layer. This is the comprehensive nature of what I am doing. Nothing is left out. Every area of your life is being touched by the alignment that your surrender released. This is why I say the moment echoed through eternity. It was not a small thing in my eyes. It was a pivotal act of faith that moved the hand of God on your behalf. And now the hand is moving visibly. You will see it. You will feel it. You will testify about it. And your testimony will encourage other chosen ones who are still in the surrender process. Your story will be the proof that it is worth it. That the pain has purpose. That the surrender has power. That the answers do come when the time is right. As it is written in Psalm 126 verses 5-6, they that sow in tears shall reap in joy. He that goeth forth and weepeth, bearing precious seed, shall doubtless come again with rejoicing, bringing his sheaves with him. You sowed in tears. You went forth weeping, bearing the precious seed of your faith and your surrender. And now you are coming again with rejoicing. The sheaves are being gathered. The harvest of alignment is here. The joy is replacing the sorrow. The answers are the sheaves you are bringing in. This is the word of the Lord for you tonight, chosen one. Receive it. Let it wash over the places in your heart that still ache from the old season. Let it replace the doubt with expectation. Let it turn your waiting into worship. Because the moment of surrender has already done its work in eternity. Now it is doing its work in your life. Heaven is aligning. The answers are coming. And you are ready. Chosen one, the answers are coming, but before the full weight of that reality settles, let me take you even deeper into the reframe of the pain so that nothing remains hidden and nothing remains unexplained. The loneliness you felt was not empty space. It was consecrated ground where I was removing every voice that had been louder than mine. Every night you sat in silence wondering if anyone truly understood the weight you carried, I was using that silence to tune your ears to frequency of heaven. The rejection that cut the deepest was never about your worth. It was about my protection. I removed the hands that would have pulled you off the narrow path. I closed the mouths that would have spoken words that would have poisoned the well of your faith. What looked like people walking away was actually me escorting them out so that the right ones could walk in at the appointed time without competition or confusion. You didn't lose those relationships. You were being preserved from alliances that would have cost you more than they gave. You didn't fail to make them understand. You were being trained to stop explaining yourself to people who were never meant to carry the revelation I have given you. The delay that stretched month after month and year after year was not me withholding. It was me building a foundation so strong that when the answers land they will not shake you. They will not overwhelm you. They will not become another burden you have to manage in your own strength. The misunderstanding that made you feel crazy, that made you second-guess every word you spoke and every dream you dreamed, that was my shield around your anointing. Not everyone is meant to see the full picture of what I am doing in you. Some were only permitted to see enough to test your resolve. And you passed the test every time you chose to keep walking even when the path seemed to disappear under your feet. Chosen one, this reframe is not a nice thought to make the pain feel better. This reframe is the actual spiritual reality that was operating the entire time you were hurting. The enemy wanted you to believe the pain meant I had turned my face. The enemy wanted you to believe the silence meant I had forgotten. But every tear you cried was collected. Every question you whispered in the dark was recorded. Every time you got back up after being knocked down, the hosts of heaven took note and the alignment process accelerated. Your surrender did not erase the pain. Your surrender gave the pain meaning. It turned the pain into the very fuel that would propel you into the answers that are now being aligned. I remember another night, years later, when the pain took a different shape. It was not about closed doors in ministry this time. It was about family. I had driven 3 hours to be at a family gathering I had prayed would bring healing. The house was warm, the smell of roasted meat and fresh bread filling every room, laughter echoing from the living room where cousins and siblings sat around the table. But when I walked in, the conversation shifted. The questions started, the subtle jabs, the old wounds reopened with smiles on their faces. I stood in the kitchen holding a glass of water I never drank, listening to words that made me feel like the black sheep again, like the one who had chosen the wrong path, like the one whose faith made everyone uncomfortable. I excused myself to the back porch, the cold air hitting my face, the sound of the screen door closing behind me like a final judgment. I sat on the wooden steps and I asked God again, this time with more anger than tears, why do I keep trying? Why do I keep showing up when it always ends like this? I surrendered this family to you years ago. I laid down my need for their approval. But it still hurts. It still cuts. Did my surrender even matter? The doubt was thick that night. I questioned whether the calling on my life was worth the relational cost. I questioned whether I had made too many mistakes for the promises to still be valid. But even in the anger I chose surrender again. I spoke it out loud into the night air, I give them to you again. I give the pain to you again. I give the outcome to you again. I stayed on those steps until the laughter inside faded and the cars started leaving. And something in me broke open and healed at the same time. That surrender on the back porch, with the cold biting my skin and the smell of wood smoke in the air, that surrender echoed too. It reached heaven. It released a fresh measure of grace over my family line. It aligned things in the spirit that later showed up as unexpected phone calls, softened hearts, and conversations I never initiated but that carried the weight of restoration. The pain did not disappear overnight, but the power it had over me was broken in that moment of surrender. Chosen one, your relational pain, your family pain, your friendship pain has followed the same pattern. The surrender you released in the middle of that specific wound sent the same echo through eternity. Heaven responded by aligning the restoration, the right connections, the boundaries that protect without bitterness, and the peace that surpasses understanding even when the people around you still do not fully see. You were not rejected because you were wrong. You were redirected because you are chosen. You were not abandoned because you were too much. You were set apart because the assignment on your life requires a level of consecration that only comes through the fire of misunderstanding. As it is written in Isaiah 61 verse 3, to appoint unto them that mourn in Zion, to give unto them beauty for ashes, the oil of joy for mourning, the garment of praise for the spirit of heaviness, that they might be called trees of righteousness, the planting of the Lord, that he might be glorified. You mourned. You carried ashes. You wore the spirit of heaviness for seasons that felt endless. But your surrender activated the exchange. Beauty is being given. Joy is being poured. Praise is replacing the heaviness. You are becoming a tree of righteousness planted by my hand, and the alignment happening right now is the evidence that the exchange is in motion. As it is written in Romans 5 verses 3-5, and not only so, but we glory in tribulations also, knowing that tribulation worketh patience, and patience, experience, and experience, hope, and hope maketh not ashamed, because the love of God is shed abroad in our hearts by the Holy Ghost which is given unto us. The tribulation produced patience in you. The patience produced experience that no one can take from you. The experience produced a hope that will not put you to shame. And that hope is now being rewarded with the very answers you have been hoping for. The love of God has been shed abroad in your heart through every season, and that love is the force behind the alignment that is taking place. Chosen one, the reframe is not finished yet. There is still more ground to cover because the enemy has lied to you in layers. He told you the pain meant you were forgotten. He told you the delay meant you were disqualified. He told you the loneliness meant you were unworthy of deep connection. But every one of those lies is being exposed by the light of what I am speaking now. You are not forgotten. You are the one I have been protecting and preparing with unusual care. You are not disqualified. You are the one whose surrender qualified you for a level of authority and favor that only comes through the fire. You are not unworthy. You are the one whose heart was being enlarged to carry relationships that will actually support the weight of your destiny instead of adding to it. The physical reality of the alignment is already beginning to press into your circumstances even as you listen. You may notice a shift in the atmosphere around you. A sudden peace where anxiety used to sit. A random confirmation that makes you stop and say, "That was for me." A door that opens without you having to force it. A person who reaches out at the exact moment you needed to hear a voice. These are not coincidences. These are the first fruits of the alignment that your moment of surrender released into the earth. The echo that went through eternity is now bouncing back into your life in tangible ways. The war is real, chosen one. The enemy has fought to keep you from seeing this reframe because he knows that once you see it, his power over your mind is broken. But the war has already been decided in the spirit. Your surrender was the final blow. The battle that looked like it was about your circumstances was actually about your posture. And you chose the posture of yielded trust. That choice ended the argument in heaven's court. The verdict has been rendered. Alignment is the sentence being carried out. You feel the shift even now, don't you? The weight that used to sit on your chest is lifting. The questions that used to loop in your mind are quieting. The sense that something is about to break open is growing stronger. That is not your imagination. That is the alignment process becoming visible in your inner man before it fully manifests in your outer world. The answers you longed for are not just coming someday. They are being arranged, positioned, and released in real time because the moment of surrender has already done its eternal work. Chosen one, let this truth settle even deeper. The pain was never the end of your story. It was the middle chapter that made the ending possible. The surrender was the turning point that made the ending glorious. And now the ending is unfolding as alignment. Every area that hurt is being touched. Every area that waited is being filled. Every area that was misunderstood is being clarified. This is not partial restoration. This is comprehensive alignment because your surrender was complete. As it is written in Psalm 30 verse 5, "For his anger endureth but a moment, in his favor is life, weeping may endure for a night, but joy cometh in the morning." Your night season has been long. The weeping has been real. But the morning is breaking. The joy is coming. And the answers that accompany that joy are already in motion. The alignment has begun. The echo of your surrender is still reverberating, and every reverberation is bringing another piece of your answered prayer into place. The time for only reframing the past is giving way to declaring what is breaking forth in the present. The hidden season is cracking. The answers are no longer waiting in the wings. They are stepping onto the stage of your life. And you, chosen one, are standing in the center of it all because you chose surrender when surrender cost you everything you thought you needed. That choice is now returning to you as everything you actually need, aligned and released by my hand. Chosen one, that reverberation is not fading. It is intensifying. The echo of your surrender is no longer a distant sound in the spirit. It is now a living force pressing into your atmosphere, rearranging circumstances, shifting atmospheres, and positioning people and resources with precision that only heaven can orchestrate. The alignment is no longer a future promise. It is an active reality that is touching your life in ways you are already beginning to sense even if you cannot yet name them all. The war is real, but the battle in the spirit has turned in your favor because of the posture you chose when everything in you wanted to fight in your own strength. You surrendered. And that surrender released a verdict that the enemy cannot overturn. The claims I am making over you now are not hopeful suggestions. They are prophetic absolutes. Every chain that has held your mind in cycles of anxiety and second-guessing is breaking. Every fog that has clouded your ability to hear my voice clearly is lifting. Every resource that was held back by spiritual resistance is being transferred into your hands. The answers you longed for are not trickling in one at a time. They are accelerating. They are compounding. They are arriving in clusters because the appointed time has fully come and your surrender removed every legal ground the enemy had to delay them any longer. You are not the same person who started listening to these words. Something has shifted in your inner man. The heaviness that used to greet you in the morning is being replaced by a quiet expectation. The conversations that used to drain you are beginning to carry new weight and new purpose. The work that used to feel like a burden is starting to feel like assignment. This is not your imagination trying to make you feel better. This is the physical evidence of the alignment that your moment of surrender set in motion across eternity. The unseen realm responded first. The seen realm is now catching up. Chosen one, the escalation is not gentle. It is forceful. It is decisive. It is the sound of heaven enforcing what was already decided when you laid it all down. The enemy has been exposed. His tactics have been revealed. His ability to keep you circling in the same wilderness has been cut off. You are crossing over. You are not just surviving another season. You are entering the season where the promises I made over your life begin to manifest in ways that silence every doubt that ever spoke against you. The hidden season is over. The silence has ended. The revealing has begun. What was concealed in the secret place is now being brought into the open. What was prepared in the dark is now being displayed in the light. What was aligned in the spirit is now breaking through into the natural. This is not a gradual fade from one season to the next. This is a divine interruption. This is the moment where the script of your life is being rewritten in real time by my hand. The delays that defined your past no longer have authority over your future. The rejections that shaped your identity are being replaced by confirmations that affirm who I have called you to be. The loneliness that taught you to depend on me is now being filled with connections that carry the same depth you cultivated in the secret place. I remember the morning after that back porch surrender I told you about earlier. The sun was just coming up over the trees, the air still cold from the night before. I woke up with a different kind of awareness. The pain was still there, but it no longer had the final word. I walked into the kitchen, made coffee the way I always did, but something in the routine felt different. The same house, the same quiet, but the atmosphere had shifted. I did not receive a phone call that morning. I did not see an immediate breakthrough in the family situation. But I knew in my spirit that something had been settled in eternity the night before. That knowing carried me through the next weeks and months. It gave me the strength to keep showing up without demanding immediate proof. And when the first signs of alignment did appear, an unexpected text from one family member, a softening in another conversation months later, I recognized them as the direct result of that surrender on the cold steps. The revealing had begun even though the full picture was still unfolding. That is what is happening for you right now, chosen one. The morning after your surrender has arrived. The revealing has begun even if the full manifestation is still in process. The hidden season is over. The silence has ended. The revealing has begun. Say it with me in your spirit. Let it become the declaration that frames every day from this point forward. The season that tried to bury you has lost its power. The voices that tried to define you have lost their influence. The circumstances that tried to limit you have lost their grip. What is being revealed now is the real you, the chosen one who was prepared in the fire, purified in the waiting, and positioned by surrender for the answers that are now aligning. As it is written in Joel 2 verses 25 to 26, and I will restore to you the years that the locust hath eaten, the cankerworm, and the caterpillar, and the pommel, my great army which I sent among you. And ye shall eat in plenty, and be satisfied, and praise the name of the Lord your God, that hath dealt wondrously with you, and my people shall never be ashamed. The years that felt wasted are being restored. The seasons that felt devoured are being returned with interest. You will eat in plenty. You will be satisfied. You will praise my name because I have dealt wondrously with you. The shame that tried to attach itself to your story is being removed. The revealing includes the restoration of time itself. What looked like lost years is becoming redeemed years. What looked like empty seasons is becoming the very soil that produces the harvest you are now stepping into. As it is written in Isaiah 60 verse 1, "Arise, shine, for thy light is come, and the glory of the Lord is risen upon thee." The command is not to wait until you feel ready. The command is to arise because the light has come. The glory has risen upon you. Your surrender positioned you under that glory. The alignment is the evidence that the glory is active. You are not rising in your own strength. You are rising because the light has already come and the glory is already upon you. The revealing has begun, and you are the one being revealed as the carrier of my purposes in this generation. Chosen one, the escalation is moving from the Spirit into your daily life. This is where the Word becomes practical. This is where the alignment touches the ordinary moments that make up your days. When you wake up in the morning, before you reach for your phone or your to-do list, speak to the atmosphere. Declare that the hidden season is over. Declare that the revealing has begun. Declare that every answer aligned in heaven is now manifesting in your day. That declaration is not empty words. It is enforcement. It is agreement with what I have already spoken over you. It sets the tone for the hours ahead and invites the alignment to show up in your first conversations, your first decisions, your first challenges. When you go to work, whether that work is in an office, at home, in ministry, or in the marketplace, carry the awareness that you are no longer striving for approval or position. You are walking in alignment. The tasks that used to feel overwhelming will begin to organize themselves around the grace that is now flowing. The difficult people you encounter will no longer have the same power to derail you because your identity is settled in what I say about you, not in what they think about you. The conversations that used to drain your energy will become opportunities for me to speak through you. You will find yourself saying things you did not plan, offering wisdom you did not study for, extending grace that surprises even you. That is the alignment at work in real time. In your family interactions, the reframe you have received will begin to change how you show up. You will no longer carry the weight of trying to fix everyone or explain yourself to people who may never fully understand. You will speak from the place of one who has been set apart and is now being revealed. Your presence will carry a different authority. Your words will carry a different weight. Even if the full restoration is still unfolding, the peace you carry will begin to affect the atmosphere of your home. The boundaries you set will be clearer. The love you extend will be purer because it is no longer coming from a place of need but from a place of overflow. When difficulty arises, and it will, because the enemy does not surrender territory without resistance, you will face it from a different posture. You will not be surprised by opposition. You will recognize it as the sign that the revealing is threatening the kingdom of darkness. You will not fight in your own strength. You will remember the surrender that already won the war in the Spirit. You will speak to the mountain. You will command the storm. You will stand in the authority that was purchased for you and activated by your yes in the secret place. The difficulty will not disappear instantly, but its power over you will diminish because you are no longer fighting from the old season. You are standing in the new one. I remember a season after that family surrender when daily life became the testing ground for everything I had received in the secret place. It was a Tuesday morning. I was running late for a meeting, the traffic was heavy, and my phone rang with news that another situation I had surrendered was still unresolved. The old reaction tried to rise, the frustration, the questions, the temptation to take control back. But I pulled the car over for just a moment, closed my eyes, and whispered the declaration that had become my anchor: the hidden season is over, the revealing has begun. I did not feel dramatic power in that moment. I felt a quiet settling. I drove the rest of the way with a different peace. By the end of that day, 2 unexpected doors had opened in completely unrelated areas. One phone call I received that afternoon was the beginning of a connection that would later become a significant part of the alignment I had been waiting for. The daily instruction of speaking the word over my ordinary moments had become the mechanism that kept the alignment active and accelerating. That is what I am giving you now, chosen one. The same instruction. The same authority. The same invitation to let the revealing touch every part of your day. The escalation continues even in these practical instructions because the alignment is not a one-time event. It is a lifestyle. It is a posture you maintain by staying surrendered in the middle of the revealing. When you stay yielded, the answers keep flowing. When you stay yielded, the opposition loses its sting. When you stay yielded, the daily moments become the very places where heaven shows up in ways that strengthen your faith for the bigger manifestations still coming. Chosen one, the hidden season is over. The silence has ended. The revealing has begun. This is not a statement to memorize. This is a reality to live from. The answers you longed for are no longer distant. They are being aligned in real time, and your daily life is the arena where that alignment is becoming visible. Walk in it. Speak it. Expect it. The surrender that echoed through eternity is still echoing, and every echo is bringing another piece of your destiny into place right now. Chosen one, let me give you more specific instruction for how to walk this out in the rhythm of your ordinary days so that the alignment does not remain a concept but becomes your lived reality. The revealing that has begun in the spirit must now be enforced and enjoyed in the natural. This is not about adding more religious activity to your schedule. This is about letting the posture of surrender that already echoed through eternity shape every part of your day. The answers that are being aligned will show up most clearly when you cooperate with them in the small moments. That cooperation is what I am teaching you now. When you wake in the morning, before the demands of the day begin to speak, take a moment to declare the truth over your atmosphere. Speak it out loud even if your voice is still rough from sleep. Say, the hidden season is over. The silence has ended. The revealing has begun. My moment of surrender has echoed through eternity and heaven is aligning every answer I longed for right now. That declaration is not a ritual. It is enforcement. It is agreement with the verdict that was rendered when you surrendered. It sets the frequency of your day before the world has a chance to set it for you. You will notice that the first thoughts that try to rise are often the old ones, the worries, the questions, the memories of past delays. Do not fight them with your own reasoning. Simply speak the declaration again. The alignment responds to your agreement. The answers that are already in motion begin to organize themselves around the words you release. This is how you start the day from the position of one who has already won in the spirit. As you move through your morning routine, the coffee, the shower, the getting ready, keep the awareness that you are not preparing for another day of striving. You are preparing for another day of alignment. The tasks that used to feel mechanical will begin to carry meaning. The mirror you look into will reflect more than your physical appearance. It will reflect the one who has been set apart and is now being revealed. You may catch yourself smiling for no obvious reason. You may feel a lightness in your chest that was not there the week before. These are not random. These are the first signs that the alignment is touching your body and your emotions. The surrender that echoed is still echoing, and it is releasing peace into places that have carried tension for years. When you step into your work, whether that work happens in an office, on a job site, at a computer, in a classroom, or in your home, carry the same declaration with you. You are not there to prove your value. You are there as one whose value has already been established in heaven. The difficult tasks will not disappear, but the grace to accomplish them will increase. The people you interact with will respond differently because your presence carries a different authority. You will find yourself speaking words of wisdom in meetings where you used to stay silent. You will find solutions coming to you faster because the alignment includes clarity of mind. When pressure rises, when deadlines press, when conflict appears, do not return to the old pattern of anxiety and control. Pause for 10 seconds if you must. Whisper the declaration again. The hidden season is over. The revealing has begun. The atmosphere around your work will shift because you have enforced the word. The answers aligned for your provision, your promotion, your influence, and your peace in that environment will begin to manifest through your yielded posture. In your family life and close relationships, the instruction is the same but the application feels more personal. You are no longer carrying the burden of trying to make everyone understand or try to fix what only I can heal. You show up as one who has been through the fire and come out with a testimony. Your words carry weight because they come from a surrendered heart. When conversations turn tense, when old patterns try to reappear, you will have the grace to respond instead of react. You will know when to speak and when to stay silent. You will know when to set a boundary and when to extend grace. The alignment that is happening in your life will begin to affect the atmosphere of your home. The peace you carry will become contagious. The restoration that has been aligned in the spirit will begin to show up in unexpected moments, a softer tone from someone who used to be harsh, a willingness to listen from someone who used to argue, a door opening for a conversation you did not initiate. These are not coincidences. These are the daily evidence that your surrender is still producing fruit in the lives connected to yours. When you face difficulty, and difficulty will still come because the enemy does not give up ground without resistance, you will face it from a different place. The difficulty may look like a sudden financial pressure, a health report that shakes you, a relationship conflict that blindsides you, or an internal battle with old fears trying to return. In those moments, the instruction is to remember the surrender that already settled the matter in eternity. You do not have to figure out how to survive the difficulty. You have to enforce the word over the difficulty. Speak to it. Command it to align with what I have already spoken. The answers that are being aligned include the grace to walk through every challenge without being destroyed by it. You will notice that the same situation that would have taken you out last season no longer has the same power. The fear rises but does not stay. The pressure comes but does not crush. The confusion appears but does not remain. This is the revealing in action. This is the alignment protecting and advancing you at the same time. I remember one ordinary Wednesday afternoon after the family surrender I shared with you earlier. I was in the middle of a normal day, nothing dramatic on the schedule, when a phone call came that brought an old trigger. The voice on the other end was carrying the same tone that used to send me into days of questioning and emotional turmoil. In the past I would have hung up and spent hours processing, praying, and trying to recover. But on that Wednesday I had already spoken the declaration over my morning. I had already agreed with the revealing. So when the call ended, I sat at my desk, took a breath, and spoke the word again. The hidden season is over. The revealing has begun. My surrender has echoed and heaven is aligning every answer right now. The emotional wave came, but it passed through me instead of taking me under. Within an hour I received an email that contained an unexpected answer to a completely different prayer I had been holding for months. The alignment did not wait for a dramatic moment. It showed up in the middle of an ordinary day because I had kept the posture of surrender active in the daily instruction. That is what I am giving you now. The same grace is available to you in your ordinary moments. Chosen one, the daily instruction is simple but powerful. Speak the declaration. Walk in the awareness that the alignment is active. Respond to difficulty from the position of one who has already surrendered the outcome. The answers will meet you in the middle of your day because you have positioned yourself to receive them. This is not about striving to make alignment happen. This is about agreeing with what has already been released because of your moment of surrender. The more you practice this in the small moments, the more the big manifestations will accelerate. The revealing is not waiting for perfect conditions. It is waiting for your agreement in the middle of your real life. Now, chosen one, I want you to do something with me right here. I want you to speak a declaration out loud. It does not have to be loud. It does not have to be perfect. It just has to be from your surrendered heart. Say these words with me: I am chosen. I am anointed. My moment of surrender has echoed through eternity and heaven is aligning every answer I have longed for right now. The hidden season is over. The silence has ended. The revealing has begun. I receive the alignment. I receive the answers. I walk in the authority of one who has yielded everything to the one who holds everything. Speak it again if you need to. Let it settle in your spirit. Did you feel that shift? That quickening in your chest, that sense that something just locked into place, that awareness that you are not the same as you were when you started listening? That is the confirmation. That is the alignment touching you in this very moment. That is heaven responding to your agreement. The war is real, but you have already won in the spirit. The answers are real, and they are being released to you in real time. You do not have to wait for a future date or a future feeling. You are in the season of manifestation because you chose the posture of surrender when it cost you the most. That choice is still bearing fruit. That choice is still echoing. That choice is still aligning everything that belongs to your destiny. Go in peace. Go in power. The same spirit that raised Christ from the dead lives in you and is enforcing the alignment over every area of your life. You were not brought to this moment by accident. You were summoned because the time for the revealing has come and you are the one I have chosen to carry it. Type 777 in the comments if this word has resonated in your spirit. Type Amen if you are receiving the alignment right now. Share this with another chosen one who needs to hear that their surrender was not in vain. Subscribe if you want to keep walking in these words as I continue to release what heaven is speaking. These actions are not about growing a channel. These actions are about agreeing with the word and spreading the fire of the revelation to others who are still in the waiting. Your comment, your share, your subscription can be the very seed that releases alignment in someone else's life. Do it as an act of faith, not as a task. Chosen one, you were born for this moment. The moment of surrender that echoed through eternity is still echoing, and the answers you longed for are being aligned right now. Walk in it. Speak it. Expect it. The revealing has begun and nothing can stop what I have set in motion through your yielded heart. Chosen one, as you go from this moment carrying the word I have spoken over you, I want to take you even deeper into what it means to live from the place of alignment that your surrender has already released. The declaration you spoke, the shift you felt, the agreement you made, these are not the end of the encounter. They are the beginning of a lifestyle where every day becomes evidence that the hidden season is over and the revealing has begun. The answers that are being aligned will continue to manifest as you stay in this posture. The echo of your surrender is not a one-time event. It is a continuous sound in the spirit that keeps releasing fresh grace, fresh wisdom, fresh provision, and fresh confirmation into your life. You are not returning to the old patterns. You are walking forward as one who has been marked by eternity. Let me give you more layers of daily instruction so that the alignment becomes as natural as breathing. In the middle of your day, when the pace picks up and the demands start pulling at your attention, pause for just a moment and return to the core truth. Speak it again, my moment of surrender has echoed through eternity and heaven is aligning every answer I longed for right now. That simple return to the word resets the atmosphere around you. It reminds your soul that you are not striving to make something happen. You are agreeing with what has already been set in motion. The meetings you walk into will carry a different authority. The decisions you have to make will come with clarity you did not manufacture. The interruptions that used to frustrate you will become divine appointments because the alignment includes the right people crossing your path at the right time. When you sit down to eat, whether alone or with others, let the meal become a moment of thanksgiving that reinforces the alignment. Thank me for the provision that is already flowing. Thank me for the peace that is replacing anxiety. Thank me for the relationships that are being restored and the new ones that are being positioned. This is not religious routine. This is agreement that keeps the channel of alignment open. The answers in your finances, in your health, in your purpose, and in your connections will accelerate when you acknowledge them with gratitude even before they fully appear. Gratitude is not denial of what is still unfolding. Gratitude is the posture that speeds up the manifestation because it shows you trust the process I have already set in motion through your surrender. In the evening, when the day winds down and the quiet returns, take time to review the evidence of alignment that appeared. Look for the small shifts, the unexpected favor, the burden that lifted, the word that came at the perfect time, the strength that carried you through something that used to break you. Write it down if you can. Speak it out loud. This review is not to boast in what you have done. It is to strengthen your faith for what is still coming. Every piece of evidence you acknowledge becomes a seed that releases more alignment. The enemy wants you to focus only on what has not yet changed. I am teaching you to focus on what has already begun to shift because that focus multiplies the manifestation. Chosen one, the alignment touches every area. In your finances, the provision that has been aligned is not just about money appearing. It is about wisdom for stewardship, doors for increase, and freedom from the anxiety that used to control your decisions. You will notice ideas coming to you for new streams. You will notice favor in negotiations or unexpected refunds or opportunities that line up without you forcing them. The surrender you made over your financial fears released the alignment that is now bringing resources that match the assignment on your life. You are not chasing provision anymore. Provision is chasing you because the echo of your surrender has positioned you under an open heaven in that area. In your health, the alignment includes healing that has already been released in the spirit and is now manifesting in your body. The chronic issues that have lingered are losing their grip. The strength that has been depleted is being restored. The peace that affects your physical state is increasing. When you speak the declaration over your body, you are enforcing the healing that was aligned when you surrendered the fear of sickness and the frustration of waiting. Your body is responding to the word because your spirit has already agreed with what I have spoken. In your purpose and calling, the alignment is opening doors that no one can shut and closing doors that would have led you off track. The assignments that have been prepared for you are being revealed. The people who are meant to walk with you are being connected. The platforms and opportunities that fit the anointing on your life are being positioned. You will find yourself in conversations and situations that feel like they were custom-made for this season. That is not luck. That is the revealing. Your surrender protected your purpose from being diluted or delayed any longer. In your relationships, the alignment is bringing the right people closer and creating healthy distance where it is needed. The loneliness that once felt like punishment is being replaced by connections that carry depth and purpose. The family lines that have carried generational pain are being healed through your stand. The friendships that were one-sided are being balanced or removed. You will notice new people appearing who understand the language of your spirit without you having to explain everything. These are the answers aligned for your relational healing and your kingdom connections. I remember a season after the Wednesday afternoon phone call I told you about when the first clear signs of financial alignment appeared in an ordinary moment. I was at the grocery store, rushing through my list, when I ran into someone I had not seen in years. We talked for 5 minutes in the aisle. That conversation led to a business connection that brought an unexpected contract within 2 weeks. The amount was not life-changing by itself, but it was the first tangible evidence that the alignment I had been declaring was moving from the spirit into my bank account. I went home that night and reviewed the day. I spoke the declaration again over my finances. I thanked me for the encounter. Within the next month, 2 more doors opened in completely different areas. The surrender that had happened years earlier on that cold back porch was still echoing, still releasing, still aligning. The daily instruction of reviewing and declaring kept the channel clear. That is what I am giving you now, chosen one. The same pattern will produce the same results in your life. The war is real, chosen one. The enemy will still try to pull you back into doubt, into striving, into focusing on what has not yet manifested. But you now have the instruction and the declaration to enforce the alignment every time the old patterns rise. You do not have to win the war again. You simply have to stand in the victory that your surrender already secured. The answers will keep coming. The revealing will keep unfolding. The echo will keep reverberating. And you will keep walking as one who has been chosen, prepared, and positioned for such a time as this. As it is written in Ephesians 3 verse 20, Now unto him that is able to do exceeding abundantly above all that we ask or think, according to the power that worketh in us. The power that is working in you is the same power that raised Christ from the dead. It is the power that responded to your surrender. It is the power that is now aligning answers that will exceed what you asked or thought. The alignment is not limited to what you can imagine. It is unlimited because it flows from my ability, not from your understanding. You are carrying that power. You are walking in that power. The answers being released through you will carry that same exceeding abundance. Chosen one, the receive it moment we shared earlier is not a one-time experience. It is a posture you can return to any time the weight tries to return or the doubt tries to speak. Speak the declaration again whenever you need to. I am chosen. I am anointed. My moment of surrender has echoed through eternity and heaven is aligning every answer I longed for right now. Feel the shift again. Let it become your default response to every situation. The more you return to it, the stronger the alignment becomes in your daily experience. Go in peace. Go in power. The same Spirit that raised Christ from the dead lives in you and is enforcing every word I have spoken over your life. You were born for this moment. You were chosen for this revealing. The surrender that cost you everything in the natural has released everything you need in the spirit and in the natural. Walk in it. Speak it. Expect it. The answers are aligning right now. Type 777 if you are standing in the alignment. Type Amen if you are receiving fresh confirmation even as you listen. Share this word with another chosen one who needs to know their surrender was not wasted. Subscribe if you want to keep walking in these prophetic instructions as I continue to release what heaven is speaking. These actions are seeds of agreement that release more alignment in your life and in the lives of those you touch. Chosen one, nothing can stop what I have set in motion through your yielded heart. The hidden season is over. The silence has ended. The revealing has begun. And it will continue until every promise I made over you is fully manifested in your life. You are not alone. You are not forgotten. You are not delayed. You are aligned. Go in peace. Go in power. God bless you.